Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to Book Club. Listen, what did you do this weekend? Where did you go? How are you feeling? As you are logging on, you guys know that I'm looking here at the screen to my right, and my hair is doing something crazy in the screen. I can see it, right? But let me know what city, what state, and/or what country you might be logging in from. It is so good to have you all here on this fine Monday. I am logging on from Georgia, from the state of Georgia. We had a pretty busy week, but I would not miss a book club. Now, why is book club so important? Especially if you are a leader, because leaders are readers. And we all know that you cannot pour from an empty cup. We also know that we're never going to earn more than we learn. And so that is why we meet every single Monday for book club. Now, here's what I need you all to do. I need you to do me a huge favor. Would you take the YouTube link and share it? Share it in your on your Facebook, tag and share so that people are joining us. You know, book club is so important. You know, I remember some time ago, and y'all let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly today or not, right? But I remember growing up hearing, the statement, if they don't want you to know something, they will put it in a book. And I had to do a reel about it today, because if they don't want you to know something, typically they say, well, just put it in a book, because they won't read it anyway. Well, we're here to debunk that myth, right? We are not going to be one of those statistics. We are readers because we're leaders, and we do want to earn more, right? And because we want to earn more, we are here to learn more. But my desire is to make sure that we make learning fun, right? And that as we're learning, we're growing and developing together. As we're having fun, we're helping people. And I have a gift, a very unique gift. And the unique gift that I have is to help you to understand the mind of the author. And so we are currently reading Think and Grow Rich. I have the large print because I don't even know who they thought could read them little words. I know that James Keys won a copy of our Think and Grow Rich, and we actually mailed that off to him because we actually just forgot to mail it. But I had the book sitting here for some time, and today Paul went ahead and mailed that out to you, Mr. James Keys. And so listen, y'all make sure y'all stay to the end, because you never ever know when I'm feeling generous and I want to give something away. So stay to the end, and we just might have a giveaway, right? So as you're logging on, I see you, Angel and Alicia and Charlene and Toby and Tedra. Y'all let me know, what do you think and feel about Think and Grow Rich? Has it challenged you? Is it enriching you? We do want a challenge, right? Because we know that if we get a challenge, then we grow even the more. And so we are we're almost finished, actually. We are almost finished with chapter 6, I believe. Hold on. Oh, no. Yeah, we're almost finished with chapter 6. And last week kind of kicked our butt. So we do take time to go through the book. If this is your very first time logging onto book club, welcome. And we pray that it will not be your last. Remember, I need you guys tag, share, and even take the link. And if you're in business with me, would you put it in my Telegram chat, right? Put it in my business, my team page or our team page on Facebook, because it's not my team page, it's our team page, the Dream Team page on Facebook. Put it in your chats, right? Put it up on your wall, and let people know if they have a desire to grow, especially if they have a desire to earn more income, then this is the place that they want to be on a Monday. And so let's dive in. You do not even need the book. All right. You do not even need the book. We are at how to make practical use of imagination. Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Ideas are products of the imagination. Let us examine a few well-known ideas which have yielded huge fortunes, with the hope that these illustrations will convey definite information concerning the method by which imagination may be used in accumulating riches. The Enchanted Kettle. 50 years ago, an old country doctor drove to town, hitched his horse, quietly slipped into a drugstore by the back door, and began dickering with the young drug clerk. His mission was destined to yield great wealth to many people. It was destined to bring the South the most far-flung benefit since the Civil War. For more than an hour behind the prescription counter, the old doctor and the clerk talked in low tones. Then the doctor left. He went out to the buggy and brought back a large old-fashioned kettle, a big wooden paddle used for stirring the contents of the kettle, and deposited them in the back of the store. The clerk inspected the kettle, reached into his inside pocket, took out a roll of bills, and handed it over to the doctor. The roll contained exactly $500, the clerk's entire savings. The doctor handed over a small slip of paper on which was written a secret formula. The words on that small slip of paper were worth a king's ransom, but not to the doctor. Those magic words were needed to start the kettle to boiling, but neither the doctor nor the young clerk knew what fabulous fortunes were destined to flow from that kettle. The old doctor was glad to sell the outfit for $500. The money would pay off his debts and give him freedom of mind. The clerk was taking a big chance by staking his entire life's savings on a mere scrap of paper. An old kettle? He never dreamed his investment would start a kettle to overflowing with gold that would surpass the miraculous performance of Aladdin's lamp. Now, I want you to think about some things that you've invested in, right? When you really didn't have the money. I've been there. When I really didn't have the money, but I had a belief. I had a belief that if I made this investment and if I did the work, that I could turn my empty kettle into what? That it would do what? That gold would come oozing out of it and surpass the miraculous performance of Aladdin's lamp. What the clerk really purchased was an idea. I want you guys to write that down. What the clerk purchased was an idea. He purchased a kettle that he didn't even know if it was going to work. No one showed him that it was going to work. He purchased a kettle and a small piece of paper. Now, what's so crazy is I've seen business models that I know 100% work and people will be skeptical. But this drugstore owner invested his entire life savings of $500 to get a kettle with a small piece of paper. What the clerk purchased was an idea. The old kettle and the wooden paddle and the secret message on a slip of paper were incidental. So although he got a kettle, a slip of paper, a wooden paddle, all of those were bonuses to the fact that he purchased an idea. I hope somebody's hearing me right now. The strange performance of the kettle began to take place after the new owner mixed the secret instructions, an ingredient of which the doctor knew nothing. Read this story carefully and give your imagination a test. See if you can discover what it was that the young man added to the secret message, which caused the kettle to overflow with gold. Remember as you read that this is not a story from Arabian Nights. Here you have a story of facts, stranger than fiction, facts, which began in the form of an idea. Let us take a look at the vast fortunes of gold this idea has produced. It has paid and still pays huge fortunes to men and women all over the world who distribute the contents of the kettle to millions of people. The old kettle is now one of the world's largest consumers of sugar, thus providing a permanent nature to thousands of men and women engaged in growing sugarcane and in refining and marketing sugar. The old kettle consumes annually millions of glass bottles, providing jobs to huge numbers of glass workers. The old kettle gives employment to an army of clerks, stenographers, copywriters, and advertising experts throughout the nation. It has brought fame and fortune to scores of artists who have created magnificent pictures describing the product. The old kettle has converted a small southern city into business capital of the South, where it now benefits directly or indirectly every business and practically every resident of the city. The influence of this idea now benefits every civilized country in the world, pouring out a continuous stream of gold to all who touch it. Have you guys caught on to what I'm saying right now? Because this has nothing to do with the kettle and or the slip of paper and or the wooden paddle. This has everything to do with an idea. That anybody with an idea and belief that they can work the idea could create such a stream of gold oozing out of this kettle. Gold from the kettle built and maintains one of the most prominent colleges of the South, where thousands of young people receive the training essential for success. Here's the problem. Here's wherein the problem lies. Most people would have gotten that kettle and the paddle and the slip of paper, and they wouldn't have done whatever this slip of paper told it to do, because you wouldn't have believed that it would have worked. So how many of you have received an idea that could probably yield you gold oozing out of it, but because you half believe or you partially believe, the magic hasn't happened for you, but you're watching the magic happen for others. The same kettle with the same slip of paper with the same paddle, the same idea. Would you be sitting there with the kettle and the slip of paper and the wooden paddle, not believing that gold would pour out? What do you do with the idea and the black kettle and the piece of paper and the wooden paddle once it's given to you? The old kettle has done other marvelous things. All through the World Depression, when factories, banks, and business houses were folding up and quitting by the thousands, the owner of this enchanted kettle went marching on, giving continuous employment to an army of men and women all over the world, and paying out extra portions of gold to those who long ago had faith in the idea. If the product of that old brass kettle could talk, it would tell thrilling tales of romance in every language, romances of love, romances of business, romances of professional men and women who are daily being stimulated by it. The author is sure of at least one such romance, for he was a part of it, and it all began not far from the very spot on which the drug clerk purchased the old kettle. It was here that the author met his wife, and it was she who first told him of the enchanted kettle. It was the product of that kettle that they were drinking when he asked her to accept him for better or for worse. Now that you know the content of the enchanted kettle is a world famous drink, it is fitting that the author confess that the home city of the drink supplied him with a wife. Also, that the drink itself provides him with stimulation of thought without intoxication, and hereby it serves to give the refreshment of mind, which an author must have to do his best work. Whoever you are, wherever you may live, whatever occupation you may be engaged in, just remember in the future, every time you see the words Coca-Cola, that its vast empire of wealth and influence grew out of a single idea, and that the mysterious ingredient, the drug clerk, Asia Candler, mixed with the secret formula was imagination. I'm not stuck. I'm not stuck. I am not stuck. Stop and think of that for a moment. Remember also that the 13 steps to riches described in this book were the media through which the influence of Coca-Cola has been extended to every city, town, village, and crossroads of the world, and that any idea you may create as sound and meritorious as Coca-Cola has the possibility of duplicating the stupendous record of this worldwide thirst killer. Truly, thoughts are things, and their scope of operation is the world itself. Truly, thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. And whatever you think, we see it. We see it in the way you look. We see it in the way you perform. We see it in when you show up. We see it in when you don't show up. We see what you're thinking based on how you operate. So if you're helter-skelter all over the place, we see what you are thinking. Because a person who is thinking properly has self-control and discipline in every area of their lives, because how we do anything is how we do everything. Imagine this, as we're talking about this idea and where the secret formula is mixed with imagination, right? Imagine this. People go to work every single day hating their jobs, but they show up anyway. They show up on time anyway. They show up when they're denied vacation anyway. They show up sick anyway. It's amazing how they find a way to get to work when stuff is going on at home. They show up anyway. But when it comes to the black kettle with the wooden spoon and the small slip of paper, we always find a way to make an excuse as to why we can't make the magic happen. We can't make the gold ooze or pour out because we always find an excuse. But when it comes to work, the job that we hate, the people we don't want to work with, we find a way to make sure we get there, to get that paycheck. That paycheck that's just enough to strip you of all of your dreams, your goals, your desires, and your self-worth. Truly, thoughts are things. And we see exactly what you're thinking by the way that you operate. When you make excuses, we see what you're thinking by the way that you operate. Excuses, my dears, are the tools of the incompetent, and those that use them seldom have success. And here's what happens. When you continue to make excuses as to why you can't show up and why you can't do things and why, as a matter of fact, some of you start making excuses about why you can't do something before it even happens. So what you do is you speak those things into existence. Well, you know what? I'm probably not going to come because I might not feel well. Help me to understand how you already are predicting that you're going to be sick, and then you end up sick because you speak those things that are not as though they are. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent, and those that use them seldom have success. So here's what happens. You make all of these excuses, right? Then you expect for people to take you seriously. And now nobody takes you seriously because you've shown you don't take you seriously. And now you're mad because people think you're a joke. But until you become serious, nobody thinks you're serious. Until you can stop making excuses, because these excuses that you keep making are yielding you no results. Ideas, imagination. Some people were, while I was reading this, were so focused on the black kettle and the slip of paper and the wooden paddle that you missed the whole story. Because the story had nothing to do with the black kettle, with the wooden spoon, and or the slip of paper. It had everything to do with the fact that this gentleman was given an idea. And what he did with the idea is what, and the imagination is what produced the results. So how many of you, God gives you these talents And some of you multiplied them, and some of you buried them in the sand. As if I am your people, Tina. Tina said, I love you, Nina. You are my people. What I would do if I had $1 million. This story proves the truth of that old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. So when people, hey, Miss Good News is here from TikTok. You guys, I met her earlier today on my TikTok live. So where there's a will, there's a way. So if people don't make a way, that means there was no will. Oh, oops. There it is. Uh-oh, Paul. I think I might have just got myself in trouble, even though the book said it. The book says, where there's a will, there's a way. So if you don't make a way, that means there was no will. Whoop. Uh-oh. Hold on. I feel like running. Let me say it one more time. The book says, where there's a will, there's a way. So when you don't make a way, that proves to us, we see that there was no will. It was told to me by that beloved educator and clergyman, the late Frank W. Gonzalez, who began his preaching career in the Stockyards region of South Chicago. While Dr. Gonzalez was going through college, he observed many defects in our educational system, defects which he believed he could correct if he were the head of a college. His deepest desire was to become the directing head of an educational institution in which young men and women would be taught to learn by doing. How do we learn? We learn by doing. Okay? Now I'm going to tell y'all, we do learn by doing. There are too many people who want all the details before they do. And I am here to tell you that you learn by doing. Now, let me free y'all up a little bit, because I had to get freed up of this. I was guilty, and you can ask Paul, you can ask anybody that's connected to me that really knows me and has known me for some time. Sean, Marguerite. I was guilty of wanting it more for other people than they wanted for themselves. I am no longer guilty of that, because once I see when they don't make a way and they show me that there is no will, I let them go. I let them go, because I'm not going to stress myself out anymore wanting it more for other people than what they show consistently that they want for themselves. Not what you show me for today. See, because I need to see a person go on a 90-day run. I learned that from my mentor, Miss Denisha Graham, that a person will show you who they really are after 90 days. I can't get some people to go 90 minutes. Not even 90 days, but I'm talking about 90 minutes, like 9 days of showing up for themselves, 9 days, not even 9 weeks. But can we get a 7-day run? Can we start with a 7-day run? So what happens is, because I used to stress myself out, but I'm here to free you all up. When you realize that potential is not going to get you paid. Everybody got potential, but potential doesn't get you paid. So what you got to do is, sometimes it means that you got to work overtime until you find the people who are ready to run. Until then, let them go. Because what it is you're stressing yourself out over people who are showing you that they're not making a way. And if there is no way there, if they have not made a way, that's because there is no will. And now you're stressing yourself out because they're showing you that there is no will. See, I had to grow up. And when I grew up, I watch everything. I see everything. And that is why the old adage, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Nobody ever has to do this to me. Do you see me? Hey, do you? Not ever. because I can see. And what I'm watching for is for you to not bail out on yourself after 7 minutes, after 90 minutes. So I just watch. And most people, it's a shame. I be hopeful. I really be hopeful for folks. But they keep proving me right. That I just be like, he ain't ready. He ain't serious. Let me see what they do this time. And each time is shorter and shorter and shorter. One time they might sprint 30 days and then day 31, boom, gone. Sometimes they sprint 7 days. Then the next time, if they sprint 7 days, then the next time is like 4 days. Then if they go 4 days, the next time they say they ready, it's like 2.5 days. Then if they sprint 2.5 days, the next time they claim they ready, it's like half a day. So I'm just here to free you up. Stop wanting it more for other people than they want for themselves. You spending all your time mentoring people on the phone for hours with people who then next week are gone. Now you done wasted your time because it's a waste of your time. It is a waste of your time. You done wasted your breath. You done stressed yourself out. You done wasted your time for people who showed you that they don't want to make a way because there is no will. Where there is a will, the people make a way. I'm going to tell y'all something. I can spot them a mile off by their language, and people will call me, this one is ready. They ready. They said, and then I watch. Oh, you think they ready? Let me see. And in 124 hours, I could tell you they ain't ready. Because when a person is ready, let me tell you what happens when you're ready. And I promise I'm going to go back to the book. When a person is ready, they show up to stuff that they ain't even supposed to be at. They just show up in hopes that because they're there, that somebody might let them in the door. I used to sneak into meetings that I really technically wasn't supposed to be in because I was just ready. And when a person sees that you're just ready, they don't even realize that you're in the room and you don't belong there. When you're ready, you'll end up at dinners that you really don't belong in because of the access that you've been given from the people that you're connected to. So he made up in his mind he wanted to organize a new college in which he would carry out his ideas without being handicapped by orthodox methods of education. He needed $1 million to put the project across. Where was he to lay his hands on such large a sum of money? That was the question that absorbed most of this ambitious young preacher's thoughts. But he couldn't seem to make any progress. Every night he took to bed with him. He took it to bed with him. He got up with it in the morning. He took it everywhere he took it with him everywhere he went. He turned it over and over in his mind until it became a consuming obsession with him. $1 million is a lot of money. He recognized that fact, but he also recognized the truth that the only limitation, listen, and y'all write this down in the chat. The only limitation is that which one sets up in one's own mind. What is your limitation? Whatever you perceive or set up in your mind. Oh, I got anxiety. I can't fly. Oh, I can't fly. Oh, okay. You can't fly. You can't fly because you tell yourself you can't fly. I can't recruit. I can't recruit. I can't sell nothing. I couldn't sell water to a thirsty man. I can't do this. Oh, I can't. The only limitation is in your mind. The only limitation. Let me tell y'all something. I watched a video on how to make this dish a couple weeks ago, and I made it, and it was really good. And I went off of the memory of what I saw in one video that I watched. I then called a few other people, and I said, hey, I made this dish from a TikTok thing that I saw or Instagram reel or something like that or whatever, right? And it was delicious. They made it, and they were like, oh, my God, it was so good. Now, here's the deal. I'm not a chef. I didn't go to school for it. but it wouldn't. And I made it again tonight, and I tweaked, did some other things to it, and it's delicious, right? Here's the thing the point that I'm trying to get to. I'm not a chef. I don't have a degree. I could have kept telling myself, well, Nina, you're not a chef, so you really shouldn't try to cook that. I mean, you're not a chef. Or I could have gotten out of my comfort zone and decided I'm gonna try to make the dish. The only limitation that we have is that we put in our own minds. So we are limited by what? Oh, maybe I'm too old. Colonel Sanders didn't start his chicken franchise till he was 56, 57. Maybe I'm too old. Most of the good actors they started their real career at about 40. Well, maybe I'm too old. Well, maybe I don't. Let me tell you something. Nina Moore, I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree. I never went to college. I had my first baby at 15, but I make 5 figures a month easily. Soon to make 6 figures a month. Right from this thing right here. Right from this cell phone. Right from my tablet. Right from my computer. Right because I read these books. Right because I have a disciplined life. Right because I treat my business like a job. And I've sat and I've mentored people, and I said, you want to make money? You want to replace your income? Treat your business like a job. And it's like it going one ear and out the other. But I live a very disciplined life. When I get up in the morning, we have routines that we have had to create for ourselves because we don't report to a job. So because we don't report to a job, we had to regiment ourselves so that we could earn. And both Paul and I together, working from home, earn more than both of us earned on our jobs apart. Working from home with our home-based business. But if you would treat your business like a job, you would make more. You could make more than what you make on your job currently. Okay, some of y'all gonna catch that. Some of y'all gonna catch that. Some of y'all gonna catch that. He needed $1 million. Every night he took that thought to bed with him. He had a consuming obsession. And he recognized the fact that the truth is that the only limitation is that which one sets up in his own mind. Believing a philosopher as well as a preacher, Dr. Gonzalez recognized, as do all who succeed in life, that definiteness of purpose is the starting point from which one must begin. Here's the deal. Some of y'all gonna say, well, you don't know what it's like, Nina, because you don't work a full-time job. But I did. But I did. Oh, but I did. What I did, Marguerite, was worked my way off the full-time job. And what I did was worked my way to part-time, what I was doing as a stylist. And then what I did was work my way from behind the chair in totality. Then what I did, Marguerite, because I had a definiteness of purpose, it was my starting point. I knew what I needed, Tina. I knew the amount that I needed to come in every single week or every single day or every single month, depending on what company I was in, right? And I wrote it down, what I needed to happen to come from behind the chair. I made it plain. And then when I saw that my husband wanted to come from work, he wanted to come from the corporate America world where he was missing out on life. Ain't nothing wrong with jobs. I'm not down on jobs. I'm just up on opportunity. Then we wrote it down. What needed to happen for Paul to come out of his job? We need to make a certain amount of income, and then above that, because of how the life that we have created for ourselves. You got to know the number. You got to have a definiteness of purpose. But if you're just willy-nilly waking up when you feel like it, exercising when you feel like it, working your business when you feel like it, Personal development when you feel like it. Responding to people when you feel like it. Where's your phone? When you responding? Or did you text them back? Did you get the products in the mail? Did you get the orders out? Oh no, that will never get you the income that you want. So I did have a job that I worked my way off of. So now I don't currently have a job, but I did. I was a single mom when I started my side hustles. So you can't tell me, but Nina, you're not a single mom. You don't know what it's like. But I do. But I do. And I know what it's like to have your income totally stripped from you and you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. So he recognized too that the definiteness of purpose takes on animation. It takes on life and power. Listen, when backed by burning desire to translate that purpose into its material equivalent. If I have definiteness of purpose and then I have a burning desire behind it, I wanted to get from behind that chair so bad. You can ask Paul. You can ask Marguerite. You can ask Tedra. You can ask Sean. You can ask the people that have known me, Nikki Robinson. You can ask the people that have known me for a long time that I used to say, I'm getting ready to retire myself. I didn't know what I was doing, right, Marguerite? I was ignorance on fire. But what I had was an unmatched work ethic. What I had was a definiteness of purpose. And what I had was a desire. I had a burning desire. Don't you tell me that ignorance on fire with a burning desire won't walk you off your job. Don't you even try it. Because I did. So we can see what you're thinking by the way that you act. Because there's no way. When there's no way, it's because you had no will. You didn't make a way because you didn't have a will. You don't make a way, you make excuses. And you wonder why you can't think and grow rich. Because you're here today and gone tomorrow. You put your dream back on the shelf until the next time, which we might catch you in another 30 days. What? So here we go. It says backed by a burning desire to translate the purpose to its material equivalent. He knew all these great truths, yet he did not know where or how to lay his hands on $1 million. He didn't know where the money was coming from. He didn't know how it was going to come. He just knew that it was going to come. He says, I got this burning desire. I can't even sleep because all I'm thinking about is this $1 million that I need. He said the natural procedure would have been to give up and quit by saying, oh, well, my idea is a good one, but I cannot do anything with it because I never can procure the necessary $1 million. That's what he could have done. But do you think that that's what he did? No. Because that's exactly what the majority of people would have said. But it is not what Dr. Gonzalez said. What he said and what he did are so important that I now introduce him and let him speak for himself. One Saturday afternoon, I sat in my room thinking of ways and means of raising money to carry out my plans for nearly 2 years. Can you imagine some of y'all looking for 2 people to join you in business? And he went for 2 years trying to figure out how he was going to make $1 million. And you fitting to fall out and faint. For nearly 2 years, I had been thinking, but I had done nothing but think. The book says it, not me. He says, for 2 years, I had been thinking, but I had done nothing but think. So how many of you are sitting around doing nothing but thinking, oh, let me get this plan. Let me figure out this. The plan is I'm broke. The plan is I got a burning desire and I need my life to change now. Not tomorrow, not next week. See, when you have a burning desire, y'all, I don't need a plan. All I need is a desire. All I need is a definiteness of purpose. This is what I need to happen. And a burning desire. And boom, let me go. I'm going to figure everything out along the way. But while you still sitting around waiting for a plan to happen, he says, I had been thinking, but I had done nothing but think. I'm sorry, y'all might think I'm mad. I ain't mad. I'm so excited about it. Like I'm getting hot. I want to run around my living room right now because this is so good. He says, I sat around thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, but I had done nothing but think. He said the time had come for action. Some of y'all need to say, lights, camera, action. Because you're sitting there thinking. And while you're sitting there thinking, you're watching the entire world go by. Thinking. Thinking ain't going to get you paid. Thinking is not going to change your life. Take action. Because what's going to happen? Let me tell you what has happened since I just took action. All of the little pieces of the things that I need, Tamika, they just come, like God just gives them to you. This revelation, he brings people your way to give you the little bits and pieces and nuggets that I needed along the journey. Take action. Because he sat around for 2 years. This man waited, y'all, for 2 years. He sat in that room and was thinking, I need $1 million. Y'all help me. It says the time has come for action. I made up my mind then and there. When are you going to make up your mind, ma'am or sir? You have not made up your mind, which is why you keep going back. Because there is no will. You have not made up your mind. When you make up your mind, there is nothing that will stop you. When you make up your mind, there is nothing that will block you. When you make up your mind, let me tell you how crazy I am. They said, hey, Paul, let me tell you how crazy I am. And you can ask Paul. I used to say, now listen, Lord, I have to go to the salon Tuesdays through Saturday. My kids, if they gonna get sick, they can only be sick Saturday night through Tuesday morning. Because I needed to be at work the days that I needed to be at work. Matter of fact, I don't even think I went on Tuesdays. I went Wednesdays through Saturdays. Depending on the client. Because I had rehearsals and meetings on Tuesdays, so I stopped working on Tuesdays. So if I can speak to my children's health and let them know you ain't gonna get sick on these days right here, because these are the days that I am required to be able to go to work. You can get sick on Saturday night when I'm done. Saturday afternoon, as a matter of fact, and you got the right to be sick until Tuesday. But you can't be sick no other days. Because if I don't work, I don't eat. And do you know that my kids never got sick on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday? Or even if they got sick and maybe it happened on like a Friday, it didn't take full effect till like about a Saturday. Because you speak those things that are not as though they are. So some of y'all sitting around talking about people going to be sick and all of that, and then they get sick. You willed it into existence. You, out your mouth, you said it. Oh, you know what? I ain't going to, I don't know if I'm coming because, and you be lying like I ain't feeling good, and then you get sick. He says, let me finish this. He says, I made up in my mind then and there that I would get the necessary $1 million within a week. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I need this. He says, I made up in my mind that I would get the $1 million within a week. Now, wait a minute. Here's what's so crazy. 2 years, he sat in a room. For 2 years, he sat thinking, I need $1 million. I'm gonna just sit in this room. Matter of fact, let me lay down. Because I think if I lay down, I'm gonna get the $1 million. A matter of fact, if I lay down, maybe I get $1,001,000. So let me lay that. Let me lay back. Let me see. Let me turn the TV on. I'm gonna stay in this room. I'm thinking about it. I'm just 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 thinking about it. And for 2 years, he sat in that room thinking about it. And then he said, wait a minute. Me just thinking about it. This ain't working. I'm thinking about it. I hear myself talking about it. I need this $1 million, right? I got this idea, but nothing's happening. And then Tedra, he decided it's time to take action. And within he said, I'm gonna have this $1 million in a week. How? He said, how? How is that gonna happen? He said, well, I ain't concerned about that. See, some of y'all ain't got that much faith. Some of y'all won't even believe for $100 in a week. He's talking about $1 million in a week. The main thing of importance was the decision to get the money within a specified time. That was the main thing of importance, to get the money within a specified time. He says, I want to tell you that the moment that I reached a definite decision to get the money within a specified time, a strange feeling of assurance came over me, such as I had never been before experienced. Something inside me seemed to say, why didn't you reach that decision a long time ago? The money wasn't waiting for you. I'm sorry. The money was waiting for you the whole time. So, could it be, Marguerite, that the very thing that we want is waiting for you, but you won't get a will? It's waiting for you. The money was there the whole time. Do you really think that there's a lack of money in the world? Do you really think that there's a lack of clients, of customers in the world? Do you really think there's a lack of people in the world? Do you really believe that there's a lack of resource in the world? Do you really believe that? No, you just ain't got it. You just don't have it. And why don't you have it? Because you sitting up in that room thinking and doing absolutely nothing. You're thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. Well, let me go on and grab my ball and come on back up in the house, and I'll be back in about a month while I'm thinking about it. Then I'll be thinking about it to think about it. Not only are you just thinking about it, you're thinking about it to think about it. So the money, ain't lack of money. Is there a lack of resource? Let me see. There's a good book that I read, and a whole lot of y'all read it too. At least that's what you say. That says that my dad, and I believe he's your dad too, right? Owns all, all the houses, all the cattle, all the land, all the silver, all the gold, all the houses, all the. She said, I'm ducking blows as you talk. And so if I'm an heir of that kingdom, resource, money, none of those things. I don't lack any of those things. What I lack is faith. What I lack is energy. See, you know what? Here's the deal. Let me help you understand something. I understand when you are experiencing a cash flow situation, right? How that could feel, and it could, if you allow it to, make you feel like there's no worth. But I'm going to tell you that most millionaires were created during the recession. And I am telling you that you lack money because you lack energy and you're lazy. I said it. I did. I was going to hold it back, but I'm not. You lack money because you lack faith. And let me tell you why. Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And then in order for you to have faith, what does the Bible say about faith? It says, just in case you don't know, I'm going to tell you what it says. It says, faith without works is dead. So If you're experiencing, because I don't even use the word broke, we don't use the word broke in our household. Broke is a mentality. It's not real. It's not a thing. Because I am an heir of the kingdom from the Most High. So faith without works is dead. Broke is a mentality. You don't have a money problem. You have a faith, energy, and a discipline and a self-control problem. Get up from where you are, stop being lazy, go exercise, stay on a regimen, and stop lying to yourself, and do it for more than 90 days because it becomes a habit. So break the habit that you got. Break that old mentality that you've got. The power is in your hands. But, oh, wait a minute. Let me go back. Where there's a will, there's a way. So the problem isn't anything but the fact that you have no will. So you keep thinking it's cute. You keep thinking somebody gonna rescue you. The next time, no help is coming. Because you're gonna keep just not having a will. Because when there's a will, there is a way. So this says, isn't it crazy? Why didn't you reach the decision a long time ago? If you're in business, why didn't you reach the decision to just be successful a long time ago? What are you waiting on? Oh, you sitting over there. Oh, you know what? Here's what you do. You sitting over there acting like you're waiting on somebody else to get themselves together so that you have an excuse as to why you haven't gotten yourself together. Oh, I just, I'm just waiting on, I just want her to do. No. Lies. Deception. This says the money was waiting for you all the time. The customers are waiting for you. The land, the storefront, the cars, the houses, they're waiting for you to take action. Things began to happen in a hurry. I called the newspapers and I announced I would preach a sermon the following morning entitled, What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million. I went to work on the sermon immediately, but I must tell you frankly that the task was not difficult because I had been preparing that sermon for 2 years. So all of y'all that's been sitting around doing nothing but thinking, you don't need no instructions. You don't need no roadmap. You've been sitting around doing that for the last 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 2 years. What do you need for somebody to tell you? You don't need anybody to tell you anything. Go into action. I am so confused as to what you need somebody to say. You done heard that that's the problem. You're an information junkie. I was going to call you something else, but I can't say it because the baby's in the house. It starts with an H and it ends in an E. It's a 3-letter word. You are information. You're hoarding information. So you're just hoarding information like you hoard stuff. He says, long before midnight, I had finished writing the sermon. I went to bed and slept with a feeling of confidence, for I could see myself already in the possession of the $1 million. Oh, they're there. They're out there. I see the business partners flooding this way. I see the customers flooding my way. I see an influx of customers, of business partners. I see it happening. I see what I need to get my new branding done. I see what I need. My vision experience. I have a Dream Again vision experience on December the 2nd, and it is sold out. Whether it's sold out right this moment or not, it is sold out. And it is soon to be sold out. We're going to talk more about that at the end of this. But I see the private jets. I see laying on the beaches. I see vacationing every single month. I see. So it ain't hard for me to prepare a speech. It ain't hard for me to, because I know it. I see it. The next morning, I arose early. I went to the bathroom, read the sermon, then knelt on my knees and asked that my sermon might come to the attention of someone who would supply the needed money. You looking for 10,000 people to come up with $1 million. I'm looking for 100 people to do the work. See, what I know, Paul, is that if you get a bunch of people to do a little bit of something, you don't need a ton of people. I don't need to enroll a bunch more, hundreds of thousands, a bunch of people. I need the people that I got to believe and catch the vision. See, and once you write the vision and you make it plain for those that read it, they can pick up and run with it. That's what the good book says. So we're writing the vision. It's crystal clear. The people are there. It's like Wonder Twin powers activate. It's like the Autobots come together. While I was praying, I again had that feeling of assurance that the money would be forthcoming. In my excitement, I walked out without my sermon and did not discover the oversight until I was in my pulpit and ready to begin delivering it. It was too late to go back for my notes, and what a blessing that I couldn't go back. Instead, my own subconscious mind yielded the material that I needed. When I arose to begin my sermon, I closed my eyes and I spoke with my heart and soul and my dreams. I not only talked to my audience, but I talked to God. I told what I would do with $1 million if that amount were placed in my hands. I described the plan I had in mind for organizing a great educational institution where young people would learn to do practical things and at the same time develop their minds. When I had finished and sat down, a man slowly arose from his seat about 3 rows from the rear and made his way toward the pulpit. I wondered what he was going to do. He came into the pulpit, extended his hand and said, "Reverend, I liked your sermon. I believe you can do everything that you said you would if you had $1 million. And to prove to you that I believe in you and your sermon, if you will come to my office tomorrow morning, I will give you $1 million. My name is Philip D. Armour." Young Gonzalez went to Mr. Armour's office and the $1 million was presented to him. With the money, he founded the Armour Institute of Technology. That is more than what the majority of preachers will ever see in their entire lifetime. Yet, the thought impulse back of the money was created in the young preacher's mind in a fraction of a minute. The necessary $1 million came as a result of an idea. Back of the idea was desire, which young Gonzalez has been nursing in his mind for almost 2 years. Observe this important fact. He got the money within 36 hours after he reached a definite decision in his own mind to get it and decided upon a definite plan for getting it. He got the $1 million 36 hours after he decided for real. Not the foreplay deciding that y'all do. Not the foreplay, you're excited today because of this book club. It smacked you in the head, and now you're excited today, and you're like, okay, I'm in it now. I'm until tomorrow. Until you don't like something somebody says, until you don't like something, the way something goes, until somebody dies or gets sick or the washer breaks or the tire goes flat or the kids are acting crazy. And then all of a sudden you're no longer, oh, here it is. Oh, nope. I'll be back in 2 months. But he got the money in 36 hours. God really wants to give you what you say you want, but you keep disappearing. So perhaps because you keep disappearing, he keep giving it to somebody else. Because when he goes and reaches down to give you what you say you want, you're not there to grab the people. Oh, but you think that the people going to come find you out of whatever place you're in, whatever bed you're laying in under the covers. That's not going to happen. And so since you're not in position when God is sending the customers, when God is sending the business prospects, when God is sending the ideas, when God is sending the real estate, the business, when God is doing all of that, you're nowhere to be found. So he's like, oops, guess I got to give it to Nina again. Oops, guess I got to give it to Tedra again. Oops, guess I got to give it to Sean again. Oops, guess I'm going to bless Tanisha again. Oops, bless I'm going to get them customers over there to Trey Gordon because look like he set up a table outside the nail salon while his wife was out of town and decided he was going to go vending on his own. Oops, guess I got to give it to Paul because, Paul, he's supporting his wife. He is present. He may not know the business comp plan or nothing like that, but he in it to win it. Guess I got to bless Tanisha Graham again over there because she won't it. Just keep showing up no matter what. No matter who don't show up. That Nina should just keep showing up. Guess I got to give it to her again because all the people that were in line to get this blessing, they back in the bed. They back in the bed. He will bless somebody else. Because the thing is, the word says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. His will be done with or without you. Like, you not stopping the plan of God from happening because you decide to take your ball in and go in the house. It's going to keep happening with or without you. It will keep happening. Exactly, Sean, you got to keep showing up when you don't feel like it. You got to keep showing up when you don't feel good like you do for your job. Because you say this is your dream. This is how you're going to make your $1 million. Do you have a $1 million work ethic? So God seems to throw himself on the other side, on the side of man who knows exactly what he wants if he is determined to get just that. That's what the book says. God seems to throw himself on the side of man who knows exactly what he wants. So there was nothing new or unique about Gonzalez's vague thinking about $1 million. See, he was thinking about $1 million very vaguely. And weekly, not weekly like as in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Weekly like meaning week. W-E-A-K. Weekly, he was hoping for it. Others before him and many since his time had had similar thoughts, but there was something very unique and different about the decision he reached on that memorable Saturday when he put vagueness into the background and definitely said, I will get that money within a week. Moreover, the principle through which Dr. Gonzalez got his $1 million is still alive. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The book says it's available to you. I want you to type in the chat, it's available to me. I got to get off of here, 7:03. I'm supposed to be in class, right? It's available to me. Write it in the chat. It's available to me. It's available to me. This universal law is as workable today as it was when the young preacher made use of it so successfully. This book describes step by step the 13 elements of this great law and suggests how they may be put to use. Observe that Asa Candler and Dr. Frank Gonzalez had one characteristic in common. Both knew the astounding truth that the ideas can be transmuted into cash through the power of definite purpose plus definite plans. If you are one of those who believe that hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish that thought. It is not true. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never results of hard work. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands. So you can't hard work your way to $1 million. You've got to be definite about what you want and demand it and then do some work based upon the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck. Generally speaking, an idea is an impulse of thought that impels action by an appeal to the imagination. All master salesmen know that ideas can be sold where merchandise cannot. Ideas can be sold where merchandise cannot. All master salesmen know that ideas can be sold where merchandise cannot. Ordinary salesmen do not know this. That is why they are ordinary. See, that's why, we have our vision experience, our Dream Again vision experience coming up December the 2nd. And for those of you who have dismissed the idea and you're like, I saw it posted, but, I ain't coming to that. I don't need to be there. No, you need to be there. And the reason why you need to be there is because I am a master salesman. Tanisha Graham, one of our speakers, is a master salesman. David Power Talk, David Solomon, who is David Power Talk, he's a master salesman who knows that the ideas can be sold. Ideas can be sold anywhere where merchandise cannot. And you need to be in the room. We're not ordinary salesmen. We're master salesmen. Where you need to get in that room, Charlene, if you can get there, get a ticket. They're almost sold out. Because you need to be in the room. Come from another city if you have to. Drive here. Fly here, get here, because we are not ordinary salesmen. There's going to be something that is delivered, that is passed to you. There's going to be a transfer of energy. I am trying to tell you now, get here. A publisher of books which sell for a nickel made a discovery that should be worth much to publishers generally. He learned that many people buy titles and not contents of books. By merely changing the name of the book, of one book that was not moving, his sales on that book jumped upward more than 1 million copies. The inside of the book was not changed in any way. He merely ripped off the cover bearing the title that did not sell and put on a new cover with a title that had box office value. Some of y'all, you got what you need on the inside. You need to change the title on the outside. That is as simple as it may seem. It was an idea. It was imagination. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna stop right there, and we only got a few more pages. We'll finish chapter 7. This was so good, so good. This was so good. It's available to you. So listen, I don't care what's going on in your life. You got to remember that you can live again, laugh again, hope again, dream again, and you most certainly can bling again. I want you to have a bling-tastic evening, a bling-tastic rest of your week. Today was World Kindness Day. Were you kind to somebody today? Right? Do a good deed. Be kind to one another. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. And I want to make sure that you subscribe down there. Subscribe to at Bling TV 3765. Subscribe and make sure that you share this with someone. Subscribe. Okay, you guys? Now, listen, make sure you're back here with us on Monday. I will be out of town, but guess where I'm going to still be? On book club. Okay? Make sure you're back here on Monday for book club. I believe that you're going to enjoy. We're going to finish the rest of chapter 6 and start chapter 7. Now, I want you guys to go to get registered at ninarmoore.com. You see my link right down there. Hit the notifications on this YouTube channel so you get all the notifications and you never miss when I'm going live, right? And register at www.ninarmoore.com to just make sure that we're collecting your email. And anytime we're getting ready to do some really, really fun stuff, we'll be able to shoot you out an email blast. But listen, last and certainly not least, on Saturday, December the 2nd from 5 to 9, we're going to have an exquisite dinner experience, the Dream Again Vision Experience, where if you already have not been to a book club like this, can you imagine what being in a room with me is going to be like, right? We've got Stanisha Graham coming. We've got David Power Talk. We had a conflict scheduled with Mr. Precise, was our financial coach. So we're working on getting another financial coach there to kind of talk to you about what to do with some of your money, with investments and things for 2024. If some of you got money just sitting there and you need not just in a savings account, but you need to be putting some of that could be earning you other income. And we've got some people that we are connected to. I'm actually praying. I want y'all to put this in the atmosphere. And I know that he's not watching, but maybe I'll tag him to this so he can watch the very end of this. I would like to see Marvin Mitchell come through the house and maybe give us a few financial tips for 2024. So, I mean, we are supposed to speak those things that are not as though they are. And perhaps Paul will cut this little clip out of the video for me and maybe I'll text it to Mr. Marvin Mitchell, and maybe Sir Marvin Mitchell from P2P, Pathway to Prosperity. Maybe he'll come and bless us with a few minutes of tips as to how to set yourself up for a better, prosperous year financially in 2024. So how do you get your ticket? You go to that link right there, moorergroup.ticketlocity.com. It is Saturday, December the 2nd from 5 to 9 p.m. at our friends on a restaurant called Grits and Eggs, y'all. The food, I'm not going for ambiance this go round. I'm going for good food and a good fun atmosphere for us to have a good time, okay? And so know that the food is amazing. We have a succulent menu planned for you, right? All of your materials will be provided. We've got some of the special that we've got to give you that evening as well. There are hotel suggestions in the link, moorergroup.ticketlocity.com. And you just never know. You might be able to room with someone else who might be staying overnight from out of town as well, since it's an evening event. I can't wait to see you all. Just know that I hope that even if you feel like you're bruised today, it was bruised to bring you to bring you to the pathway or the place that you need to stand up and rightfully take ownership of, because you are the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath, the lender and not the borrower, and the first and not the last. And I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Good night, and God bless you all. See you soon.